We interrupt our regularly scheduled nonsense to tell you about this episode's sponsor, Knack. Knack bags are a unique combination of laptop bags and backpacks. They are expandable when you need the extra space, endlessly adaptable for any situation, and fully padded to protect your most precious electronics.
That's right, coupled with a stylish modern design, Knack bags are the perfect companion for 9 to 5 commuting, jet setting adventure, and everything in between. Shuffle off to knackbags.com to get yours today.
For a limited time only, use offer code BEYOND to check out to get a free TSA-approved bag lock with your purchase.
Yes, that's offer code BEYOND to get your lock with purchase of your Knack bag of choice.
This is Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgasen and Nick Fodera. A look at sports and pop culture from beyond common sense. The show that constantly goes off the rails and might never get back on. When you don't belong, you're a bench warmer. On this show, there's no riding the bench. This is Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. By the way, I got my numbers right. I mistaked it last week. This is episode 32, not last week.
So that was 31. This is 32. Next week will be 33, and so on. So, I'm Nick Fodera. That's Nick Morgasen. You make sure to follow us on social media at ETB Network. You can follow us at Instagram.com. At ETB Network on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Empty the Bench 1. And actually, I'm blanking on the other ones. Finish for me.
You mean, so follow the show on social media on Twitter at Beyond the Bench 1, Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Bench 1, and Instagram.com/Beyond the Bench 1. And I keep forgetting to make a banner for it, but we are on TikTok. ETB Network is on TikTok at ETB Network. Sorry for a little flustered, but as of when we're recording now, the verdict just came down for the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial.
But before we get into that, this episode is sponsored by Knack Bags. Now you go to knackbags.com, and when you go to your checkout counter, you get your Knack bag, your beautiful, wonderful, almost sexual Knack bag, and you see. That's what it is. It's stylish. It's got pockets on pockets, and it can store literally everything, and it's almost bulletproof. Don't take my word for it, because it's not an endorsement, but again, they're pretty good. So you go to the checkout, and you enter the offer code BEYOND. That's BEYOND to get a free TSA approved lock with your purchase. It is $15. It is a $15 value, and you get it for free. Because we like you just that much.
Wow, free.
Exactly.
Who knew free
what kind of life is it?
It's a one-bag life?
Exactly.
The problem is, I don't know if it's really a one-bag life for Amber Heard right now. But yeah, before we go there, we're going to talk about that. Don't you worry. We have plenty of opinions and information to give you on that. But let's go through the whole show. Selling Sunset star Christine Quinn is leaving the O Group to go all crypto. We all know how much Nick loves cryptocurrency. Mona Lisa gets caked by a man disguised as an old woman at a French museum. These were good stories. And by the way, our intern Sarah, who just started with us a couple shows ago, she pulled some good stories. These are actually really funny stories when I was looking at them.
These are, although they're algorithmically tailored to piss me off. But I guess pissing me off makes for better content.
It does make for good content. Keep more stories like this. Also, The Rock's daughter, Simone, is hitting back after she just joined the WWE as talent because apparently she chose a nickname that was a little too closely tailored to The Rock. So we'll get to that one. Also, Donda Sports, which is a Kanye West vehicle, because Kanye West thinks that he can just get into any business and ownership that he wants.
Oh, God.
So now we have stars like Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics who have actually signed on to basically have Kanye West as a sports agent.
So if he thinks he's trying to create Rock Nation 2.0, but I'll get into that.
Also, and I hate to do this to you, Nick, as well. I think this is the piss off Nick Fodera episode this week. Donald Trump's media company is well, his media company though also Truth Social is under this brand is seeking canceled shows, which is news and podcasts, for a subscription service, which is coming along the way. Also, Kourtney Kardashian, and I'll tell you what Kourtney Kardashian and Semen have to do with one another.
Yeah.
Also, Derek Jeter joins Twitter. After all, social media, I should say, because he was on Facebook. Now he's on Instagram. Now he's on Twitter. And he was actually quite funny on his first day of being on Twitter. And then we'll wrap it all up with Taco Bell and Mexican pizza. So
yes, we will.
So a lot to do, a lot to get through. But we have to start with, as we're recording this, Amber Heard has been found guilty of defamation in the trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. A lot of reactions are coming in now.
This is a late-breaking story in that at the time of this recording, we've only been aware of this for about, less than 10 minutes. So we've had to scramble a bit. Well, we knew this was coming down for the past hour or so. But, like I told you before we met, before we met to join up to do the show, before we went live, this case was essentially a dead duck, meaning that as soon as the public opinion was turned against Amber Heard, she really didn't have a chance in hell because, again, this country, I've made my feelings very, very clear on this case, and I seem to be in the minority in that I think that both of them are fault, although Johnny Depp is definitely more at fault because, again, you still put your hands on a woman. You still did these things. That's not actually it. That's not actually in dispute here.
But you need to remember one thing. I told you the charges and the defamation. I
understand. So
are two separate things.
The case is you can't call me a piece of shit, even though I've been acting like a piece of shit.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right that he's an asshole and he's done a lot of fucked up things. But you can't take the defamation case and put it on top of the charges from the other case. It doesn't work like that. You know that.
Amber Heard didn't need to be a perfect victim to write. She didn't need to be an innocent little cherub.
Right.
To write that op-ed that she did was it a couple of years ago?
It was a couple of years ago. But yes, but at the same time, I agree with you. I'm tired of all these people who, if you go on YouTube, and we talked about this over the last couple of weeks on this show, people are looking for content to make views. That's what they do. Look at all the late night programs and what they're doing. Now that this is over, they have to find another lackey to attach themselves to.
Yes, they do. And at a certain, I hope I'm wrong about this. God, I hope I'm wrong about this. But I do think about everything you've seen over the past, at least in terms of YouTube and the kind of discourse that you've been seeing in online circles like social media, like in Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and even YouTube, the front page of YouTube. It's been alarmingly pro Johnny Depp, and that every video is, this body language expert proves that Amber Heard is a lion meanie, and she's got a bruised makeup artist, and she's just trying to destroy the career of innocent little fawn Johnny Depp.
Wait a minute. The makeup artist is a hack, okay? We know this. She wanted her claim to fame, her views on TV and digital platforms.
Yeah, and everybody on TikTok is now a body language expert, which is
it's not just
amazing
TikTok.
to me.
Wait a minute. It's not just that originally started on YouTube, where all the big time verified YouTube channels were basically coming out and saying, I'm going to watch the trial live. I'm going to make my opinion known. And when those channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on it, their opinions are now making it out into the world of YouTube. YouTube should have said, we're not allowing this to go up on our platform.
Or at least, you're not seeing any pro Amber Heard stuff either to counterweight.
YouTube and the internet, I shouldn't have to say this to you because you and I have said this many times. The internet is a horrible place.
It is.
So
we make our living on the internet, but I do recognize that this is kind of a shitty place to be.
I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't think I heard one nice thing about Amber Heard this whole time during this trial.
Thing, not one nice thing at all. And now everybody comes out and says she's terrible.
But at the same time,
again, what this is, no, go ahead.
But I was going to say at the same time, and you're not going to like my answer, but I think they got this case, the defamation case, right.
Technically, but it still sucks. It still sucks that we had to, that we're in this case, that the well has been so poisoned.
But here's
what it has been.
But here's the other thing. At the same time, even though he won the defamation case, he's never going to work again anyway.
I mean,
he's not. Because the court of public opinion, I'm sorry to steal a pun, but it's true.
But public opinion has shifted in his favor.
But who cares if he's so damaged as a human being that no one's going to want to work for him? There's stories of when he was doing the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie that he showed up late. He was not on time to do anything.
Fed lines through his earpiece and his
right. So no one wants to work with him anyway. So what? He won $50 million. Big deal. Doesn't matter. He's not working anymore. And he has all this debt he's got to pay off.
The lasting effect of this is similar to what I saw, what everybody saw in 2014 with Gamergate, where it became just an excuse to go after women you don't like.
Well,
it was. I was there. I saw it. In the guise of, and this is the backlash to me too. This is absolutely the backlash. This is the opportunity that people will take, mostly men, to get back at every single woman who they thought did them wrong. This is white guys. This is guys' vengeance, because this is in the guise of just asking questions or just standing up for what's right. And no, it's actually horribly misogynistic.
Well,
that doesn't happen here.
You and I had a conversation on our sports show, Empty the Bench, the other night about the Deshaun Watson case and how the women are being treated horribly.
Yeah.
And they're not being given a voice. And that these 23, well, it was 22, now 23 civil cases against Deshaun Watson. The court system is screwed up because they didn't even take the case seriously when they brought it into court.
No, they didn't. They were as eager as they were eager to get everything the hell over with.
And you know what? This is an interesting case too, because at least in the Deshaun Watson case, people were saying, oh, well, he's a celebrity, so he got off as an excuse against the women who are your average everyday people. And I don't mean that in a mean way. But in this case, civilians, thank you. But my point is, in this case, you have two celebrities.
Yeah.
So how do you handle it? There's no favoritism here.
There's no favoritism here, but God. And look, it's already trending on social media.
Well, as of our recording today, it's trending.
As of our recording, oh my God! If you're really sick of hearing about this, you may want to steer clear of any kind of social media for the next couple of days, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Amber Heard, you're going to see the hashtags. It's already been going around on social media. Amber Heard is a bitch. Amber Heard is
a liar. Is a C word if they can get that past the filter.
Well, Twitter wouldn't allow that, but I know what you mean. But the one that's going,
or they'll find ways to get around it because, again, you're terrible people.
Well, you could technically hashtag anything on Twitter, but I'm talking about like when they put the trends out, they're not going to put that word in there. Like, they're not going to do that. But my point is, you're going to see Amber Heard as a liar, Amber Heard defamation. You might see, you're going to see all those trending on social media, and social media is already a dumpster fire and basically digging a hole through the middle of the atmosphere. Now it's going to be even worse.
Like it's eating through our cultural discourse like acid. It is. You ever seen the movie Aliens?
Yes.
You know how the aliens bleed acid when you shoot them?
Yes. That's essentially what's happening here.
Essentially the same idea is at play here.
I don't know. This is an interesting. This is going to become a case study, right?
This is going to become a case study in really in the case of how much social media can sway public opinion, and I'm convinced, dead convinced.
I want to throw one more at you.
It had an effect here.
Did you see that they actually put tweets into evidence? That was the first time it's ever been done. Because wait a minute, because usually when you put stuff into evidence, it's physical evidence, right?
Yeah.
So they put non-physical evidence into evidence
because it's ephemeral.
No, but I'm just saying that there was history made in this case.
Oh God.
I mean, what's next? We're going to talk about cryptocurrency in a second. Are we going to see cryptocurrency end up in evidence of a court case too? I didn't say it was logical. All right, I'll get you off this story because I think you're a little annoyed. But we're going to move on to cryptocurrency. And
from one thing that pisses me off to another thing that pisses me off. It's like a conga line. It's like a conga line of fucking with me.
I'm just going to say that this makes entertaining podcast entertainment.
Yes, it does. So you know what? Explain it to me. Explain it to me, Mr. Ringmaster.
So Selling Sunset, I think it's a reality show. Yeah, it's a reality show. Her name is Christine Quinn. She's leaving the O Group to go all in on cryptocurrency.
What's the O Group?
Well, I'll read the story a little bit. So let's see. The breakout star and sassy villain of this show is going all in on crypto, but the company she's founded isn't an ugly NFT or shitcoin pump and dump scam. Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard someone use shitcoin.
Shitcoin pump and dump scam. Ooh, look at TMZ.
But it's not TMZ.
Oh, it is. Who wrote that?
It's BuzzFeed, your favorite.
Oh, BuzzFeed. Oh, look at BuzzFeed throwing fireballs.
Even though BuzzFeed, which is the one that's known for the listicles?
It's BuzzFeed.
Is that BuzzFeed?
Yep.
Those drive me insane. Like, do you remember when those were popular back in the day? Where I'm just gonna make my lists, and I'm just gonna. They stole that from what was it, Letterman?
Yeah, I know it's a little off topic, but I actually got to visit the BuzzFeed offices once.
Did you?
Yeah,
you told me you did that.
Yeah, as part of a journalism J school field trip, and the people working they just look so miserable.
Oh, so
they posted on a happy face. It's like, yeah, it's great to work here, but what we're not telling you is they're paying us shit.
But this is crazy. So the people that have NFTs, and that's your other favorite word, NFT.
Of course.
Non-fungible tokens, if people don't know.
Tokens.
Whoever came up with non-fungible tokens should be shot.
No, because fungibility is a word. They screwed up the meaning of the usage of that word. Every time you hear the word fungible, you have to talk about weird pictures of monkeys.
So Matt Damon has done TV ads for it. Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton have basically promoted their NFTs on the Tonight Show.
Which all of a sudden the NFT market just collapsed
because people realized that it's stupid. I don't need a picture of my piece of pizza like they do in Barstool and make that an NFT.
Taking a picture of a piece of pizza and then uploading it does not mean that you own that piece of pizza or even that you ate it.
Well, you own that. I guess that I'm trying to think of the word.
I've got a picture of a Ferris wheel as my backdrop. Does that mean I own a Ferris wheel?
No. But you have people like Gwyneth Paltrow and Reese Witherspoon who are part of an all-women group chat about it. Hilton named her dogs Crypto and Ether after Ethereum.
Because again, for celebrities, it's the new Kabbalah bracelets. It's the new Scientology. It's the new thing to get into. Because again, they make enough money where you can absorb any kind of financial hit that you might take if things go tits up.
So I think the name of the company is called Real Open, co-founded with her husband Christian Dumnatet. I'm sure I totally botched that name. Makes it easier for crypto whales to buy a house with their Dogecoin.
I don't have any idea what the fuck any of the words were in the.
You've heard Dogecoin. Dogecoin
I
was
know
that.
what Dogecoin is. It's just those words. Is it possible to use them in a sentence like that?
By the way, Dogecoin, for most people who don't know that story, that was that weird coin that was basically created, and then Elon Musk basically blew it up into the oblivion, and it went from like 4 cents to $1, and then everyone was not dumb enough
and it came right back down.
And people were not dumb enough to sell it when they had it at $1. That was like the whole phase with the movie theater company when the Reddit thing happened.
AMC stock.
AMC and a few others.
And GameStop.
When they went up to like $400 a share. And people were like, I'm rich, I can retire. But
now I'm gone. And now I'm broke.
No, but then they were fuckers because they didn't sell the stock. They were greedy, thinking that it was going to go from 400 to 1,000. That's how the stock market works.
Which you think you want to take your money and go home, but okay, you just can't get enough of it. But again, this is my problem with cryptocurrency, where it's a magnet for suckers.
I wouldn't say that. I think that's
company excluded, of course, but again, it's mostly a magnet for suckers. The blockchain is useful in certain aspects.
Right. I agree.
You know what? Cryptocurrency, I just don't get it. I just don't.
So it says the new company launched this month and has exclusive listings across the country, including LA, New York, and Miami. So they basically picked all the major markets. That's what they did here. But she went from basically being in reality to another form of reality.
So our irrepressible intern, Miss Sarah Luster, has provided us with a link to whatever the hell this website is.
Oh, Real Open. That's the crypto site.
And that's the crypto site. And why God does it look like a? Why does it look like a real estate company?
That's what it is. It's a real estate company. You buy the stuff with crypto instead of money, but it's basically taking money.
So a housing market propped up with crypto. That's like filling your pool with gasoline.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's like if
the housing market is unstable as it is. Now you're gonna add crypto to the mix,
Nick. It's like any other investment. Like
I'm going to jump into the swimming pool full of badgers, and I'm going to cover myself in honey.
Hey, you have honey badger. You can say you're on the Arizona Cardinals.
Moving on.
Wait, my point I wanted to finish was you put money and you invest it into a house, right? You buy a house, you're investing money. It's the same thing with cryptocurrency. You're going to take cryptocurrency, you're going to invest it into a house. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it. That's the only difference. You need to get with the times, Nick.
Wait. Somebody who had to be dragged kicking and screaming onto TikTok is calling me a dinosaur?
I knew about TikTok.
I know I'm a dinosaur. It's just I realize that I'm among friends.
No, but I knew TikTok.
I'm among like-minded people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
See, to you, TikTok was the mouse running up the clock, not the social media platform. Just saying.
Moving on.
All right, we'll move on from cryptocurrency to cake. So Mona Lisa gets caked by a man disguised as an old woman
at the Louvre
in France, I think. Yeah, Paris. Yeah.
So now, for those of you who I've never actually been to the Louvre, I've never actually been to France, to be honest with you, but everything I know that from people that have been there, the Mona Lisa and that exhibit is quite smaller than you might think.
It is.
So you can't actually get really close, and the painting itself is actually really small because, again, I mean, it was painted in the 16th century. So what exactly do you think it was going to look like? I mean, it's a giant neon sign, but that also means that it's crowded. There's a bunch of people around. You can't even cough on that thing without having armed guards show up. And although that theory was put to the test because there was somebody, a climate activist, according to the story, who snuck past the guards
How does
was able to get into the front of the painting, or in front of the bulletproof glass that they keep it behind security glass because
it's like a bad movie?
Stealing that thing.
It's like a bad movie.
Yeah, they did make that the Da Vinci Code.
Actually, Sarah just pointed out 2.6 by 1.9.
Yeah, exactly. It's very small. Any smaller, it'd be a postcard. So, at a certain, so he decides. First of all, this man is dressed like an old woman because apparently that would throw him off the scent, and he smears cake all over the all over the Mona Lisa.
You sure he wasn't there to have a party?
Yeah, sure it wasn't some kind of bet in a bad birthday party at the Louvre. So,
well, I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah.
Wait, I wouldn't consider that the museum the best place to have a birthday party.
Yeah, not exactly. Well, but they could be really nerdy. Who knows? But
wait, it says according to a witness testimony, the perpetrator was a man in a wheelchair who wore a wig. To the surprise of other guests, he would have suddenly stood up and approached the Mona Lisa and throwing the cake at her.
Onto the bulletproof glass that they keep that they keep in the painting because to protect it from things just like this. So I understand he's some kind of activist, but if you do something like that, guaranteed people are going to be talking about that and not the cause you stand for.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
It's like going into the middle of Cleveland Municipal Stadium because you want to protest, you want to advocate for, affordable housing, then shitting your pants in front of 40,000 people. Now, the cause that you're out there to protest might actually be just, but the manner in which it's done, they're not talking about what you were there to protest about. They're talking about, hey, there's a guy who shit his pants in front of 40,000 people.
I mean, to me, this just seemed like another wacky person in the climate space who wanted to make their name known. And just said,
desperate times call for desperate measures. Why do so many people want to destroy that painting? I don't know why somebody wants to destroy that painting so much. Maybe it's because you know what? Maybe it's like a rite of passage. It's like
it's a good question, by the way, because
a great story for a bar because it is the Mona Lisa. It is one of the most famous paintings in human history.
Well, why did they? Then why wouldn't you steal it rather than try to mess with it? Not that I'm advocating to steal one of the most valuable paintings there are, but if you're going to cause a scene or a ruckus, why would you just throw cake at it?
I mean, I guess cake was all he had on him.
I mean,
I guess somebody in the office had a birthday party and he just grabbed a fistful of it.
It's so wrong, and the only response I have for it is this.
Look at all the failure.
Yeah, and then he technically did fail in proving his point, but still.
I mean, what's next? Was he going to slip on a banana peel on the process of running away?
Right, Kilroy was here on the
only thing that would have made this better if this ended up on Dumbest Criminals of All Time on TV.
I mean, technically, he wasn't committing a crime. It's more of a misdemeanor, but still.
No, or I guess dumbest attempts at trying to mess things up.
Yeah, he's attempting a crime.
I don't know. This
is a semi-incompetent criminal.
I mean, like I said, the only thing that was missing was a banana peel or a trap when he steps on it and he ends up in the air in a net.
I mean, there are so many other different ways you could have done this. I mean, flaming bag of dog shit.
What? I don't know. What? Do people even do that anymore?
I mean, I don't know.
The problem is, since with the PC culture we're in, you can't do any joke that's funny anymore at all. You can't even.
What's offensive about a flaming bag of dog shit?
You can't even make a prank. You can't even make a prank call to somebody anymore because they say, "Oh, that's offensive. You hurt my feelings."
Well, it's a dick move, but it's not offensive.
I mean, what happened to the whole your refrigerator is running and you better go catch it type joke?
Yes. Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Come on, but people.
I'm looking for a Mr. Jablomi, first name Haywood.
Wow, that's all I have to say about that. But
Mr. Jazz, first name Hugh.
are you done?
Yes, I'm done. Moving on.
All right. Let's move on to The Rock. So, Dwayne Johnson's daughter Simone is hitting back at criticism of WWE names she chose ahead of her debut. She's now content for the WWE. Did you see this?
I knew she was going to be wrestling. I don't know why she was going to be wrestling. What's the name she chose?
She changed her name to Ava Rain.
And people are pissed off about that?
Apparently, she's 20 years old, by the way, which is young for entering the WWE content game.
Well,
not that I know anything.
She's not his only kid.
No. He's been divorced. He's got kids. Yeah.
But it's to be expected because wrestling runs deep in that family. I mean, Dwayne Johnson did it. Her grandfather did it. His The Rock's father. I mean,
well, here's the difference. Back in the classic WWF, because that's really what I know. At least
the World Wildlife Fund, people.
Federation, but who's counting?
World Wrestling Federation.
But back in the day when wrestling was cool, I guess that nicknames mattered. That's when they matter. Today, no one cares. Like everyone goes by their real names.
I mean, there's no persona. I mean, persona wrestlers, meaning that there's nobody who's like we all know who Sting is. It's like it's not like it's not like back in the 90s you didn't know who. Hey, it could be anybody behind that mask.
I mean, today now everyone sees your face.
Or you never knew what Rey Mysterio actually looked like.
I mean, look at Ronda Rousey. Like, first of all, her nickname is terrible. Was it Piping or Piper? Ronda, I can't even pronounce it this way. Piper, Rowdy, Piper, or whatever she goes by.
Or whatever it is.
I can't even pronounce it. I mean, I'm a Ronda Rousey fan just because I used to watch her in the UFC, and she would beat the crap out of people. But now, do you remember when she first joined the WWE? Like, she was a little too aggressive in the ring, and she was like hurting people. I
mean, I guess she realizes it's fake. She didn't realize it was fake.
I mean, and I'm not kidding. She was like literally like breaking people's arms. Oh, it's Rowdy. That was her nickname. Okay, I just looked it up.
Which she took from Roddy Piper, but
I don't know. I think she's. I mean, she's entertaining. I'll give her that. That's the only thing I'll watch from the WWE.
But what's the criticism, though? What is Simone being criticized for?
Changing her name, like her full name.
I mean, it's to be expected because what's her name? She was Sasha.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, yeah.
Yeah, she's credited in her acting performance in The Mandalorian as Mercedes Varnado, which is her actual name.
Well, because she doesn't because she probably has to keep it separate from the WWE stuff. You have to remember, Vince McMahon basically controls everybody, even when it's not WWE content. He gets a cut of everything.
But it makes sense because her father had a name. I mean, he wasn't going as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson until he started acting. And they only called him Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because they knew him as The Rock. But
the thing is, I heard The Rock tell this story on Howard Stern show years ago that Vince McMahon and WWE get a cut of every movie he does.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know how much money that is?
Because he's still credited as The Rock, right? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, so I think they get a cut of everything that he does, which is insane to this day. Still,
I mean, if you want to get around it, he could basically just reverse the order and go as Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
That doesn't work.
Nah, it doesn't. I was afraid of that.
It's not the same. Where's my sound effect when I need it? Yeah, that's what I think about the. All right, let's move on from The Rock to Kanye West. So we've seen failed attempts. We've seen failed attempts at sports agencies before. And now Kanye West is basically opening up his own sports agency called Donda Sports.
So the fact that you were a Renaissance man, or at least you're trying to be a Renaissance man. Renaissance men did a lot of things, but they didn't try to do everything. So he tried to be a performance artist. He tried to be an actual singer. He tried to be an actor for a bit. He tried to
run a church.
He tried to run a church. He tried to run for president, and
failed at it, by the way.
And now he thinks he's going to become Rock Nation 2.0. And Boston Celtics guard Jaylen Brown is the first pro athlete to ever sign with it, which is a get. I mean, he's a name.
Well, yeah, because the Celtics are in the NBA Finals right now.
In the NBA Finals.
I left out something as well, that Kanye is partnering with future Hall of Famer Aaron Donald on this agency.
Which, I mean, Aaron Donald is a very trusted, figure in the NFL. He was a great player too, and if he holds good on he makes good on his promise to stay retired. And I mean, at this point, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty sure the people laughed at Jay-Z when he said, "I want to start Rock Nation Sports."
Yeah, but I think Jay-Z is a much smarter individual than Kanye is.
Well, that goes without saying, but
everyone's smarter than Kanye at this point.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't know who's more delusional, him or actual mental patients.
Kanye West.
Yeah, but
wait a minute. You want to know how he's more delusional? Being married to Kim Kardashian. That's being more delusional.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. But
well, we'll get to the Kardashians, which that's a rare phrase you're going to hear on this show, that we're going to actually talk about the Kardashians. But I think Kanye is one of those guys that just wants his hand in everything, like literally everything.
He wants to become. He kind of wants to do what Jordan did.
Why do you say that?
Like, think about what Jordan was doing in the 90s, where he was pretty much everywhere.
Well, Jordan had his own brand already.
And so does Kanye.
Yeah, but I think Jordan's brand is with $1 billion brand.
It's like Kanye. People already people want you to rap. You're best at doing that.
Actually, to be quite honest, I don't want Kanye to do anything because I think he's pathetic.
I mean, he still has his fans. I'm not one of them, but
do we have to go back to when he tried to put a fake Pete Davidson in a video?
He wanted to kill Pete Davidson?
Well, he technically killed a fake Pete Davidson in his last video.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about that.
I mean, the man clearly needs a psychiatric intervention, but I'm no psychologist.
And don't say drugs, because I'm sure he's done every single one of them already.
Oh no! The problem is not more. The problem is not less drugs. It may be just the right ones. But
all right. Speaking of drugs, and you might need some after I pull this story up. Donald Trump's media company seeks canceled shows in the news and podcast space for its subscription streaming service.
Now, does he mean hosts that were canceled, as in
yes,
quote unquote canceled, or shows that actually were canceled?
No, like literally, like you got canceled.
So I guess we're going to have James Franco host a podcast, and Kevin cooking with Kevin Spacey, and oh Jesus.
So here's the direct line. The streaming service will feature Trump specific, this is in quotes, programming, comedy specials, and shows that embrace the Second Amendment, according to a regulatory filing.
Which, again, this is basically taking the culture war and amping it up to World War I levels. This is basically taking, I don't care about the issues anymore. It's all about the culture war, the things that I can make you feel in your gut.
You want to know
bullshit, the bullshit that people get weirdly attached to.
So you want to know who the CEO of his company is now?
Dan Beningo?
No. So
It's Rudy Giuliani, isn't it?
No, it's not. So Trump Media and Technology Group, led by Devin Nunes.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I know that name far too well from when I worked on the John Bachelor show, which was syndicated.
The man who sued a Twitter account belonging to a fake cow.
Right. I had quite a few encounters with Devin Nunes when we used to record interviews for that show.
Okay.
And he was not basically everything. Like, if you think of a yield in the road, he went down the center instead of going left or right on the yield.
Yeah, he's not a very pleasant person, I would imagine.
Oh, and like he would come into the station from time to time, or as I said on the Bachelor program, which was a syndicated show, and he was on like the Friday show every week. He was a weekly guest. Now, there's something wrong in his head. Like,
I mean, I kind of want to see where this goes, because it's like, I mean, man cannot live on Kevin Sorbo and well, what's his name, Dean Cain alone. I mean, the conservative movement is just who gives a fuck about these people?
By the way, Nick, they're talking about adding sumo wrestling and boxing matches also.
Sumo wrestling.
Yes, sumo wrestling.
Boxing matches I get, because Trump's actually a fan of boxing, but sumo matches?
You want to know what they're calling the platform? TMTG Plus.
Oh God, Trump
Media and Trump Group, and Trump Media and Technology Group Plus.
Yeah, because that's not a mouthful. But you know what? Working under the assumption that this is all an elaborate ruse to separate his voting base from their money. Yeah, it's basically a money vacuum for morons.
But wait a minute, we're leaving something out here.
It's going to be successful because there are people that will pay for it.
But we're leaving something out here. If, which I don't think he will, and I think you know where I'm going with the next statement I'm about to make. If he runs, he would have to put this on the back burner again.
He would.
Now,
I would hope to succeed, so he doesn't actually run.
I would prefer that he stayed away from politics at this point.
I mean, I would like it if he went away and never came back.
But. And I'm right down the middle.
And that's literally the kindest thing I can say about that goddamn person.
I mean, Nick's a little stronger on the opinions angle than I am.
Which I'm holding on to right here. It's right here.
For me, I'm like more right down the middle. I don't like people from both sides. That's just how I've been. But basically, it says the programs being offered are blue collar comedy, canceled shows, Trump-specific programming, which we all know what that's going to be, faith-based shows, family entertainment, shows that embrace the Second Amendment, and news. So that's a wide range.
Yeah, wide range of crap. This is gonna be his Quibi. This is going to be his Quibi. This is going to be his CNN Plus. Oh my God, this is going to be his Patch Network.
So it says the filing is also somewhat contradictory, saying elsewhere that though similar to Netflix and Disney Plus and other current filings, TMTG intends to produce or acquire entertainment simply for entertainment's sake.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
It doesn't really mean much. And it says TMTG will not censor the creators of entertainment as well, nor will it insist that its programming push some particular political ideology.
Which is horseshit because they're pushing their political ideology, just not the ones they don't like.
I don't know. I've had enough. Like
then again, I mean, the only real political opinion that Donald Trump actually subscribes to is that Donald Trump is great.
No, I think
that's really the only thing he cares about.
I think the only opinion he subscribes to is the money theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's pushing a political agenda, a right-wing political agenda. That's why he's saying we're all about impartiality. Really?
Well,
really? What are you, the fucking news?
That was like at my last radio station job where they tried to say we're right down the middle and we tell both sides fairly, and I laughed.
Oh yeah, because there's only two kinds of demographics in this country: white males and political. There's only two kinds of sexual orientations to them. To them, it's straight and political.
I guess. I'm not touching that one because I try to stay away from that. But let's move on from this. We all know that this is going to be a failed attempt, as every other business that Trump gets into fails.
Yeah, talk to me about the Trump water, the Trump steaks, and the Trump airline.
I mean, why don't we just talk about land and boats and?
In fact, you could teach that at the defunct Trump University.
Ugh. What was the name of that? Turning Stone USA or Turning Point USA?
No, that's still around.
Isn't that the Charlie Kirk vehicle?
Yeah.
Another genius.
I hate that I know who these people are.
Well, the only reason
I can't tell you how infuriating it is for me that I know who these people are. That the immediate reaction upon hearing their name is a cringe instead of who?
Well, the only reason I know
them. I really wish it was the latter and not the former.
Yeah, the only reason I know them is from being in the radio business. Otherwise, I wouldn't know who they are. So, all right, let's move on and let's talk about Semen. And no, we're not talking about the people on a boat.
We're not talking about the Fifth Fleet. Unfortunately, we're talking about the building block of life, which is, of course, the. Now, we were debating before we went on air about how best to deal with this subject without being completely gross.
Nick, there's no uncensored. You and I do best.
And the consensus verdict was that, you know what? Nobody can. You can't.
Nick, you can't. Behind the curtain, when we go to pick stories, we try to pick the ones that we can completely obliterate people on because you and I do best when we can pick people apart.
So Kourtney Kardashian just recently got married to Travis Barker, who was the drummer for Blink-182.
By the way, for the third time, she had three weddings. 3 weddings. One in Italy, too.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, he's known more for who he's marrying or who he's been dating at the time, and not his drumming skills, which actually are pretty good.
Is he going to get cursed like every other NBA player that seems to date the Kardashians?
I don't know. I mean, all of a sudden, if he wakes up one morning and finds that his hands are all crooked and he can't pick up a stick, then you know he's cursed. But still,
it's a good point.
So they're trying to get pregnant, and the fertility doctor, who is apparently one of these crunchy granola weirdos, healing crystal hippie doctors, said you need to get your body used to his fluids. So therefore, you must drink him like a milkshake.
What the?
And I don't know how much that doctor advised her to drink, but
you sure he's not a sick and twisted individual?
It's like are you sure he wasn't getting off on this? Because Kourtney, I gotta ask if you're listening, are you sure that doctor wasn't fucking with you?
Literally?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that they were just messing with you. Because it's like, was he saying, yeah, all you have to do. And then all of a sudden, when you walked out of the room, he just burst into laughter.
I don't know. Apparently, it had something to do with thyroid levels, which is what I'm reading right now.
Which, just go to a fertility expert, for God's sake. Medical science can do amazing things without having to drink. I mean, at a certain point, that's not actually... That's not fertility. Yeah, drinking it? I mean, that's
Wait
not fertility. That's porn.
Wait a second. So Kourtney said before revealing what her fertility doctor suggested to her, there's a quote here. It says, but he told me that the thing that would help is drinking Travis's cum like 4 times a week. 4 times a week. Sorry if you're eating while watching this.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
A full cup, by the way, she said.
Oh God. You know, thank God there aren't watch-alongs with local religious institutions, because they'd all be walking out right now. Goodbye. So I'm pretty sure the fertility doctor was just screwing with her.
Well,
because that's not fertility, that's just porn.
But to be fair, I would say this falls under the list of the Kardashians are willing to do anything to stay relevant, So when this story comes out in the news, no pun intended, that basically
when it bursts forward, when it erupts,
right, that when it hits social media, everyone's going to read the headline. And it's going to be on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. Oh my God.
Well, you know what? If they did it exactly sooner than they intended to, it would have been premature, and that's not a good thing either. Oh!
Wow.
Okay, so we're going to have to abandon this thread right now because we're headed. Yeah, I can see where we're headed right now, and it's an ocean of bad puns.
I just don't. I don't know. There's like a giant question mark above my head right now because I don't know how to really.
He's tilting his head sideways like a dog. Huh?
Just like I don't know. This story is weird. Like I promised you originally we wouldn't do Kardashian stories, but this one was just too good not to.
No. We actually ended up talking about. My family actually ended up talking about it, and if you want to find a more genteel way to talk about it, while there were kids in the room, it was terrifying yet funny at the same time.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about something closer to us in the sports world. Derek Jeter finally joins Twitter. He was on Facebook already. His company, why am I forgetting the name of the company all of a sudden?
Turn 2, isn't it?
No. The writing.
The Players Tribune.
What is it? Oh, Players Tribune. That's right. So they were already on social media. And then all of a sudden I'm scrolling around the other day. Derek Jeter is now a verified account on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that too. And it's like, yeah, it looks like I've run out of excuses because he was replying to a tweet from, I think, 7 years ago saying that Derek Jeter doesn't have any more excuses to join Twitter. And he tweeted, his first tweet was, well, looks like I've run out of excuses.
I think that should be the name. I said this on the sports show. I'm about to use it again. That not running out of excuses should be the name of the book that he writes for all the celebrity women he's dated.
I mean, gift baskets ahoy, I guess, was taken. So what's amazing to me is at Derek Jeter, somebody wasn't sitting on that until he joined. It's amazing. I would have thought for sure he'd have to modify it.
Maybe, I don't know, because some people steal celebrity names on social media all the time.
Steal, and some people have to get paid to give it up.
Well, technically, you can't squat. That's what they call it in web domains.
Yeah.
Legally, you can actually fight for your company name if it's a big name.
Yeah.
And the person who's squatting on it could actually get in trouble.
And it's pretty obvious that this is just, a promotional tactic because of the Captain miniseries. It's going to be the ESPN documentary miniseries that they're going to be doing in July. And this is really, I think, a calculated move by him and his PR lackeys to say, hey, Derek Jeter really doesn't talk like a human anymore. It's like, can we just remind people that he does breathe air, that he does have a pulse.
And he also did that other thing. I forgot which late night.
Surprisingly funny.
Which was the one? Which late night show does it? Is it Kimmel, where the celebrities sit down and they answer
mean tweets? Yeah,
that's what he was essentially doing.
Yeah, but the last mean tweet you'll have to read about him was in 2014. He retired then.
No, my favorite was A-Rod actually quote tweeted his tweet and said, "Welcome to Twitter." That was probably the funniest thing I ever saw. A-Rod of all people.
This has been simmering underneath the surface for about 2004. So, guys, just get into a knife fight and just get it over with. Just beat each other up.
Well, the weird part is they fake it so well when they're around each other. Like they smile. Just,
I mean, he's got pretty much every single. I mean, if he ever gets trolled on Twitter, which he will.
Oh yeah.
Once he replies to, he could just have a highlight reel of the stuff. Have you won 5 championships? I have.
Well, what is it? And how old is what is her name? Mindy Davis, I think was.
Hannah Davis.
Or Hannah Davis. I couldn't remember her name. They're like, there's a discrepancy in age there, big time.
Actually, is there? Let me make sure.
Derek is 40 something, right? And I'm looking it up. Hannah Davis, I think, is a model. She is 32. Oh, I thought
she's a year older than me.
Oh, I thought
actually she's 5 months older than me.
Oh, I thought she was a lot younger than that. Oh well, maybe I misread that one. You're right.
It's Hannah Jeter now, by the way.
That's right. Hannah Davis, Hannah Jeter, whatever it is. I think I guarantee you when she works, it's definitely Hannah Davis. I'm telling you. There's no way she's going as Hannah Jeter on a modeling shoot.
I mean, I don't know.
Not that I really know anything about the modeling game at all, but yeah. That was awkward. Anyway,
I actually would kind of want to see that.
What?
You as the new face of Guess Jeans.
No, that's okay. I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Hey, you were the original Gerber baby, weren't you? I was.
No. What is wrong with you?
My hands once showed up in a waffle commercial.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say that would have been kind of awesome, actually. Wait, is there a single item that if you could be the endorser for it, would you do it? Like commercials and everything.
This is going to sound stupid, but Barilla pasta.
What? That's the item you chose?
I don't believe in endorsing a product that I'm not actually a fan of.
I don't mean endorse, but like something that if you really like an item, like a lot, and you say, I'm willing to become the product.
Either Barilla pasta or maybe a fast food thing so I could get one of those free food cards.
Which movie was that? The Happy Gilmore, where he gets the free sandwiches. What was it? Blimpie, yeah. I think.
Yeah, because he was a spokesman or something.
Hole in one.
Yeah.
That was one of the best lines in that whole movie. By the way, where he just hits the sandwich off the tee into the guy's mouth. All right, I'm going to stop before that gets any more inappropriate. All right, final story. Taco Bell. Now, I'm not the biggest Taco Bell fan. I never really have been, but Mr. Fast Food over here is a Taco Bell fan.
First, I'm not a Taco Bell freak. I mean, I don't hate
fan, not freak.
I like Taco Bell. Honestly, it's better off. The mental calculus that I do is you don't consider Taco Bell Mexican food because it's not. It's Taco Bell.
It's not Mexican food.
Much in the same way that Pizza Hut is not pizza. It's Pizza Hut.
Well, yeah, obviously, real pizza.
It's a very specific need, and it scratches a very specific itch. Because sometimes you just want to eat junk.
I don't trust Taco Bell.
And the two of those things fit very well together. But I was never a big fan of the Mexican pizza. Never really my thing because it was always soggy as hell.
It's fake manufactured pizza. Of course, you're not a fan of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have standards, but I was so wrong when I thought no one's gonna care if they take the but there was a groundswell of support when they took the Mexican pizza off the menu. It's like, how can you do this? Of course, most of that was from Desi immigrants, which if there's a cultural connection there because it's the only vegetarian thing you can eat if you get it customized, which I understand.
But at the same
time, I absolutely understand. And Taco Bell actually did bring it back after a couple of months. Well, however, they were not expecting the flood of people asking for one.
You mean the sellout? They sold out. They sold out to the point where there was a story here that you pulled, and I looked at some of it. It says the company said one fan bought 180 Mexican pizzas in one single order.
To eat or to sell?
Well,
he's definitely reselling it.
It doesn't matter. The person bought 180 Mexican pizzas in one order.
I mean, what are you, catering a fucking banquet?
I don't know. It just says that they were such a big fan that they bought 180 pizzas from Taco Bell.
I guess if you're gonna limit it to 2 or 3 per customer.
To them, 180 Mexican pizzas. Do we know what the price is?
No, I don't.
That's what they're looking at. Do I have to stress this point? Do I really have to?
I mean, it's money to them.
That's my point.
But then you run into the same logistical problem that Popeyes had, where everybody wanted the chicken sandwich when the chicken sandwich first came out, but then they had to take it off the menu because people were rioting.
Do you remember in an episode
when it ran out?
Do you remember in an episode of Family Guy where Sarah just found it was $4.49. $4.49 the Mexican pizza. So think about that quickly, doing the math.
So $180 times
$360, $720. It's like, I can't do that math in my head. It's a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
All right, you know what? Let's bring that out.
It's 180 times 5, essentially. That's roughly.
Well, let's do it exact. Hang on. Let's.
Oh, she put it in there. $808.20.
$808.20 worth of product. I'd say from one customer.
For a fast food place, they're not turning that down.
They're not turning that down. No.
So,
they're crying about this all the way to the bank. But people are going to freak out if they have to take it off the menu, but it will come back. Look, Taco Bell is creating scarcity because they know if it's scarce, it drives up the prices. It drives up demand.
Usually I could do that math in my head quickly, but that it was so delusional that 180 pizzas. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, so in any event, I mean, if you go to Taco Bell, make sure, if you can get your Mexican pizza, just make sure you savor it because you never know if it's going to be here today.
I don't know what the big commodity is. Like, I was starting to say, do you remember in Family Guy, they did the commercial for, well, they call it another name, but the McRib. Remember, like, oh my God, the McRib is back. And like, they all like just go from hating each other to loving each other all over again. Yeah. I don't know what's so special about the McRib, to be quite honest.
I don't either, but I guess people like it.
Specialty food item
for me to yuck anybody's yum, or even in some cases to kink shame, because I guarantee you somebody's getting off on this.
Wow, way to totally take that to a place I didn't think you were going to take it. But by the way, you do know that the name of the brand that owns Taco Bell,
Yum Brands,
is Yum Brands.
Exactly.
So you weren't connecting that. That was complete coincidence that you said that.
It was complete coincidence.
Okay, just want to make sure because I was going to say that was irony if you actually planned that. So
yeah, I didn't, but I don't see the appeal. But again, I'm not the one buying it.
All right, I think it's enough for one episode. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think we've had enough nonsense for this week. So
make sure you follow us on social media on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETB Network. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Beyond the Bench One, and same things for Facebook and Instagram as well. Follow the network on TikTok at ETB Network, and make sure you go get, if I can reach down here and get a Knack bag. Make sure you use the code BEYOND, BEYOND. Get a TSA approved lock, $15 value for free. Put the lock in your cart with a choice of Knack bag, and you will get it for free. So,
and live your best one bag life.
Because we all know that Kourtney Kardashian is not, because she has to drink a thing of semen every day.
Oh, good. All right. I'm putting a stop to this. For Nick Morgasen, I'm Nick Fodera, and I'm saying good night, everybody. See you back on the bench.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week for episode 33.